Opinion Operation Sindoor, a moral victory beyond the battlefield. The Bharatiya Armed Forces, through Operation Sindoor, under the resolute leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, displayed extraordinary valor by avenging the heinous Pahalgam massacre, obliterating terrorist infrastructures and key Pakistani air bases. Notably, this war between Bharat and Pakistan was being fought not only with weapons, but also on another front, a semiotic, symbolic, and narrative battlefield. Bharat, in that arena too, not only triumphed over Pakistan but also waved the flag of its rich civilizational heritage, moral superiority, and soft power on the global stage. According to the discipline of semiotics, science of signs and symbols, symbols play a deeply significant role in warfare. Wars today are not fought with weapons alone, but also with metaphors, cultural references, symbols, and classical imagery. These symbols, to take a cue from renowned semiotician Charles Sanders Peirce, are not just ornamental, they are instruments of power, persuasion, and legitimacy. They reflect a nation's collective consciousness and ideological core, validate its actions, unify its people, and evoke strong emotional responses. In the Bharat-Pakistan conflict, symbolism was deployed strategically and culturally. This helped shape perceptions both domestically and internationally, crafting a narrative that was morally assertive and emotionally resonant. The name Operation Sindoor itself carried a rich symbolic meaning. It was not merely the codename for a military action, it was a culturally layered, emotionally charged, and politically powerful statement. Sindoor, the red vermilion traditionally worn by married Hindu women, symbolizes purity, devotion, protection, and sanctity in Bharatiya culture. Just as Sindoor reflects a husband's vow to safeguard his wife, this operation became a metaphorical pledge by the Indian state to protect its citizens. Moreover, the term Sindoor invoked national unity, especially among Bharatiya women, who saw the operation as a symbolic extension of their dignity and collective strength. The red color of Sindoor also stands for valor, sacrifice, and heroism, qualities exemplified by the Bharatiya Armed Forces. By naming the mission Sindoor, Bharat wove together its civilizational pride with the ethical legitimacy of military action. Amidst the escalating tensions, Prime Minister Modi invoked one of Bharat's most iconic moral figures, Lord Buddha, the great symbol of peace and compassion. Sending a message to the world, he declared Bharat has given the world not Yuddha war, but Buddha. He reminded global audiences that this was not the time for Yuddha, but for the wisdom of Buddha. Yet, he made it equally clear that peace is sustained by strength. Bharat neither seeks war nor fears it. It desires peace but will go to any extent to protect its borders and its people. In doing so, Bharat positioned itself as a country of restraint but not one to be provoked. To ethically contextualize its military actions, Bharat turned to another powerful symbol, the Bhagavad Gita, foundational philosophical and spiritual text. A much-cited verse, Yada Yada Hi Dharmasya Glanir Bhavti Bharata, was effectively invoked. Bharat's response was not merely strategic, PM Modi emphasized in an address, but a righteous intervention to uphold and protect Dharma against adharma. Here, Dharma does not refer to religion, but to righteousness and justice, while adharma refers to injustice, personified in demonic terrorist forces who kill innocent civilians, and their military patrons across the border. The framing turned military retaliation into a moral imperative. To inspire the armed forces and rally the public, another powerful symbol, the Shiva Tandava Stotra, was invoked. This hymn, played in a musical format, during the briefing of Operation Sindoor, is a divine ode to Lord Shiva's cosmic dance of destruction. It signified righteous fury, moral clarity, and spiritual strength. It served as a war hymn, more than a religious recitation, invoking courage, divine support, and cultural rootedness. It represented Bharat's balanced, disciplined approach and its commitment to destroy the evil forces for the larger good of humanity, echoing Shiva's role as the cosmic protector and destroyer of tyranny. The rhythmic and musical rendition of the stotra elevated, undoubtedly, the morale of the soldiers and garnered public support. Language and literature also hold symbolic significance, playing a powerful role in communication and messaging. Defense Minister Rajnath Singh, in a calculated display of moral clarity, declared that Bharat's war was not with Pakistan's people but with terror and its architects. Quoting from the Ramcharitmanas by Tulsidas, he said, Jin mo'i mara tin mo'i mar, we struck only those the terrorists, who attacked us first, exhibiting both ethical restraint and unwavering resolve. Our national sentiment was further elevated when Bharatiya army officials quoted verses of renowned Hindi poet Ram Hari Singh Dinkar Hitbakan na hintun mana matri kamulya na pachana yachnana hi, abran haga jivan jayaki maran haga, which means you did not heed kind words, nor valued friendship now, no more appeals. There will be war. Either victory, or death. This was not just poetic flair, it was a rhetorical strike. It told the world that Bharat is a peace-seeking nation and desires friendship, but also recognizes the bitter truth that Babinu hoy na preeti, i.e. without deterrence evil cannot be tamed. There can be no peace without fear. Prime Minister Modi also invoked the fierce words of Guru Gobind Singh Savalok Seek la down, each one of ours can take on 125,000 people. This was both a tribute and a morale booster for Bharat's soldiers, each of whom is worth an army. Even Bharat's military arsenals names echoed our civilizational values, symbolizing righteousness and justice. The Sudarshan S-400 air defense system, which foiled missile strikes on Indian cities, was named after the divine discus of Lord Vishnu used for destroying adharma, evil and injustice, and uphold dharma, righteousness and justice. Likewise, the BrahMos missile, which razed terrorist and military targets, was likened to the Brahmastra weapon of unstoppable precision and divine origin. Contrast this with Pakistan's missile names Babur, Gauri, Gajnial, named after fanatic invaders and plunderers. Individuals with a jihadi mindset, reflecting the immoral ideological foundations of the Pakistani military and state. In the current conflict, Bharat achieved not only a military victory but, above all, a moral one. Bharat, through strategic use of its ancient texts, poetry, spiritual references, and cultural metaphors, demonstrated to the world that its power is not merely kinetic, it is civilizational. Even in war, Bharat speaks the language of peace. Even in retaliation, it draws from its deepest values and righteousness. The battlefield echoed with missiles, yes, but it also resonated with verses, deities, and dharma. Swipe left for next video. In this war of symbolism and substance, Bharat proved itself not just a power but a principle. Professor Niranjan Kumar is the Dean of Planning and a senior professor in Hindi department at Delhi University. Views expressed in the above piece are personal and solely that of the author. They do not necessarily reflect News 18's views. Latest blogs.